Good evening once again. It is 5 p.m. and I would like to welcome each and every one of us to yet another weekend, or would I say the final weekend, where we wrap up this cohort, the wonderful Cohort XI. I'm sure we've had a beautiful, fantastic, enthralling past couple of weeks. I know that I have been engaging by the side some members of my team, and some of the feedback I have gotten is that it's been an eye-opening one, and I want to believe that that's the experience that some of us, if not all of us, have had. We want to thank the Electoral College for this opportunity once again. Today we'll be having the final class. Well, sincere apologies, please. Whilst we would use the next couple of minutes to still wait for our fellow colleagues, other participants to join. Today we will be having, I will just walk us through our facilitator's profile first. But first, I would like to remind us that there's some of the class rules that we have. Once we come in, we put our names in the chat box. We don't want to hear stories when it's time for graduation and some people do not make the final list, and you have people, buzzing that they attended classes, but there are no evidences to show for it. So please, it's a final call that when you come in, please put your names in the chat box so that we can properly capture the attendance. Also, today we'll be having the candidates led by the one and only executive director. We know the rules. The session would go on, but in the middle, or whilst it's on, we can place our questions in the chat box, or you can just wait till after, and then we can indicate by show of hands if we have questions, and that will run in a seamless fashion. The session is estimated at an hour, 30 minutes max, an hour, 45 minutes. So we hope that you're here, presence of mind, and not just that you turned on your device to show that you are present. Please ensure that your mind is also here. Okay. So today we'll be having someone that is not new to us, someone we've heard over and over again speak on various topics. We have seen him on television and a couple of social media platforms. He is the brain behind why we are here learning and improving in the areas of governance and politeracy. This individual is an entrepreneur. He's an idea generator, a politician, a TEDx speaker, and patriot, someone who you would call a patriot. And I must agree with that. He has a keen eye for opportunities based on his experience in politics and working with non-governmental organizations and with the federal government. He is passionate about Nigeria, and he is someone you could term a detribalized Nigerian. He considers his boundaries to be limitless, and he is really focused on changing the Nigerian narrative in political participation. He currently serves as the executive director of the Electoral College of Nigeria. He was once the acting national publicity secretary of the Cohort party. And in his time there, he built 6 state structures and developed the e-membership system, which fetched an individual an e-membership card in 2 minutes. And he also conducted the only e-election in a political party ratified by INEC. He was the FCT Alliance for New Nigeria senatorial candidate in 2019. Apart from having a phenomenal race, he ran with 49 pieces of legislation, which he hopes to use when he won, and has since transitioned to a non-partisan influential player in politics and electoral matters in Nigeria. As the Electoral College of Nigeria, which he founded as Africa's first school of politics and governance, and the reason why we're here. He has trained over 10,000 Nigerians for free on a 28-course module spanning politics and governance. He has also worked on interventions for the Electoral Act 2022 and a few other pieces of legislation. Please, ladies and gentlemen, this individual is one of the most televised Nigerians and key to issues of national discussion, and more so, explanations on legislation, governance, and policy. Very robust, intimidating profile, I must say, but I'm sure you can all agree with me that this individual has been nothing short, nothing short of a blessing and an inspiration. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, your virtual hands and emojis, even as we welcome Mr. Kunle Lawal, who will be taking us on the candidate this evening. Please, let's celebrate one of our own. I can't see the emojis.
Thank you very much, Shola. And anytime that profile is being read, that particular one, I always wonder what they are talking about.
It's you, sir. I'm always
like, huh? Who's that guy?
It's you, sir. It's you. Collect your flowers.
Anyway, first, thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to address this class. Of course, not for the last time, but last time has been mentioned as a cohort over course by tomorrow when you're having your graduation ceremony. A lot of people will be referred to as associates, and we look forward to that time. I'd like to thank everyone who's taken their time on behalf of the board, the region. There's those who worked to ensure that Cohort XI is a success. Those who also have participated to ensure that Cohort XI is a success. It's one small step for democracy, and for me, it seems one small step for democracy was a large step for civic education. I cannot immensely say that I did not appreciate the efforts. The efforts are highly appreciated. It's always a great thing to see, people start to see things differently from how they used to. I'm going to say that this class might not change your entire perspective on what democracy is or what democracy could be, but the general idea is to plant in the seeds that one day trigger the change. So it's okay for people like me to know that I'm close to retirement age, and also understand that I might not be able to bring in the necessary change I dream of in Nigeria. But what will be said about me if we didn't plant the future at this time? So thank you everyone for being part of it, and we look forward to a great class. So today's class is Candidate, a 360 Perspective. Now, the entire time you spent in this course has revolved truly and immensely around just the position, the fact that someone we're building you. And if you look at all your courses together, you find out there are requisites to develop you to be the candidate. Now, most people think only the candidate should learn how to be the candidate. No, if the candidate learns how to be the candidate, how do the electorates tell what a good candidate? And it's on that premise we've decided to think like the candidate, to feel like candidate, so they can sense what good is. You cannot, and let me bring this simply, you cannot, you know what, let's not speak English, bring this down, Niger people. You cannot appreciate good going if there's no agege bread. So how do you tell what the agege bread is? Can you hear me clearly? I got a notification internet was unstable. Can you guys hear me clearly? Hello, guys.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay. So the picture is we must train you to understand what a good politician is, and the only way we can do that, and what the electoral college taught properly, was that if we placed you in the same candidate's position, exposed you to everything the candidate's exposed to, you'll be able to sense what exactly is and isn't. Most of the time, we always judge our candidates by, oh, they're young. Oh, she's a girl. And that is not the requisite for good governance. I am fully behind inclusion, but inclusion at a parameter that it benefits all, not inclusion for the name of we have 6 women with no legislation. That doesn't benefit anyone. And it doesn't even help the women that are coming in. So I don't want 7 young people with no legislation. I want 7 young people that show a trend that there should be 20 young people. And that has always been the target of the college under my own leadership. One day, very soon, when I pass on leadership, they might have a different concept to what exactly it is. But then, for now, as I'm in charge, follow the leader. That was a joke. I'm not a dictator. So the candidate, the 360 perspective presented by Kunle, our executive director of the Electoral College Nigeria. So we'll go on to the introduction. So who exactly is a candidate? Most of the time, you have even people winning, deciding to go into elections, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is that, oh, now I'm a candidate. Oh, now I'm doing this. Oh, now I'm that. You're not a candidate. The requisites for being a candidate are simple. The first one being a candidate is someone who's aspiring for an elected office, who has won a ticket of a political party and has an automatic mandate to run in an election. Once you've won the ticket of a party, you can now use candidates. I very much know a lot of people in the media, they can't, presidential aspirants, presidential candidates, they use the words anyhow, aspirant candidate, and it's been an anomaly or inability to define these things clearly. So a candidate is someone who's aspiring for an elected position, who has won the ticket, not bottom. Entirely shocking that you see people who have just purchased party nomination forms call themselves candidates, the candidate of this or this, that. And then people who didn't even plan to, didn't even print one post, call themselves candidate. No, a candidate is also another requisite for the word candidate, is someone who's on the ballot. He's not necessarily on the ballot because it's of course the party on the ballot, but his name is adjudged among the names INEC presents to represent the party. That's the candidate. Now, one of the key things you will not like, a candidate is a target. Most people think being a candidate is cool. Yeah, I thought the same before I ran in 2019. Oh, wow, being a candidate is cool, man. I get to walk around, I represent my party, I've struggled in my party, I won the primaries, everything's going to be my papa, the people are going to be dancing and singing on the road to welcome me. That's a big joke. That won't happen. Candidate is a target for almost anything. His personal life is being targeted. His social life is cut short because they think he can't do publicly again. A candidate is someone who cannot make a statement on certain issues. Like I'll give you an example. If as a candidate, I say, okay, I believe in women, but they should wait their turn or they should hustle. It's going to really not support women. You might not have meant it in that context, but therein would lie the problem because they would see anything a candidate says as what he'll be doing in office. Well, a candidate is, of course, a potential target, which is not something very interesting. You carry an X on your back, and everything is an issue. I remember while running for office, even people within my staff, they went to do their hair and they were like, I'm on the team of Kunle, you here. Why not paying triple price? That's even people affiliated to me, not people exactly. And this causes quite a situation. I'll tell you, I think I've said this before in an earlier class. My landlord in Abuja was like, this guy's running for office. He put up a 75% rent increase. And, as a candidate, even within your friends, Kunle is running for Senate, it's bigger than us. So it means that every time we go and eat, Kunle pays for it. Every time we go out, Senator is here now. Yeah, we are Senator, got that covered now. Senator has covered all this. And those are the kind of situations. So a candidate kind of carries he like has an X on his back, and then the sombrero or the that El Matador in Mexico and Spain, where the bulls are just everybody else chasing around, and like you're holding a red cloth, and they go after you in different manners. Now, steps to becoming a candidate. Now, everything we've taught you guys, everything we've gone over has always led to the fact that we would follow the political process to become who you are. Now, what's key in all of this is that every individual step leads to another. So you need to understand what kind of what kind of position do you want to run for, which is identify the position best suited to your qualities. If you're a noisemaker, you probably I don't mean noisemaker in a bad way. You talk enough, and that would probably put you in a case in the legislative. Now, within the legislative, what are your strengths? Have you studied the constitution? Do you understand the kind of laws that are going to be needed? Do you understand the kind of laws Nigeria is deficient in? Do you understand the kind of laws that are incomplete? Do you understand the laws that need an abridged version to make them more effective? Do you understand those that have a problem with implementation and decide to put the laws that will ensure the implementation moving forward? Now, that will be key to you choosing what you want. If you want to be an executive, which is the cool position everybody likes, that's local government chairman. We don't need to discuss this. You guys know it's local government chairman, governor, deputy governor, and president. How good are you with taking executive decisions? Well, most Nigerians are good at that. Our favorite phrase is, do you know who I am? So I think if you're going into the executive position, you're quite good at displaying or directing that clearly. So we'll go to the next point. Politics is a war, so you have a strategy to win. Now, when most people are told politics is a war, they say, it's a bad game. It's like the struggle for anything. Do you think becoming head of choir in your big church is easy? Do you think becoming president of the Muslim association in your ward or local government is easy? It's a struggle, always is. So you have to have a strategy. You have to look at your strengths. What are your strengths? Okay, I'm young, I don't have money. Okay, so what are you employing? Okay, I'm young, I'm running for a legislative position, I don't have money, I'll push bills out. Nobody else is doing that, so I'll catch the public eye. Depends. Okay, I'm young, I don't have money, and I'm female. So what do? I'm not going to throw myself at any godfather. So what I'm going to do is make people my godfather, and I'll finally understand what exactly it takes. And I'm going to tell them how it should be, so that they would look at it and say, okay, this could play to my advantage. Because when I finally understand what job needs to be done and I'm explaining this publicly, they will say, and she's a woman, which means, she's a woman, meaning she's researched this a lot, far more than women will do. And it brings you up to the open. But you need to have a strategy. So what exactly is your strategy? I've seen political parties within your cohort employ different strategies. I'm very impressed with, and I would like to mention them this last class. So I'm not sounding biased. Everything has been decided already. So nobody should go to Lisa's house and go and check what's there. But everything has been decided already. And I'd like to say I'm very, very impressed with the PDP, with APGA and the AAC. I'd like to use this opportunity as part of the college to thank you exemplary for your exemplary work. And I would say you guys will make it anywhere. And I suggest you guys should join a party. This is not to say I do not understand the commitment and hard work of other political parties that existed during the cohort. So this is acknowledging the strategy and the work and the time and the presentation. Trust me, if you want to catch me with a presentation, and I think I must commend APGA for that. APGA, I'm serious. I agree. There's nobody in the world that can sell fire to a well. I think it will be APGA. APGA had me every time I opened it, I always smiled. Anytime they did something, I always smiled. At the end of the class, so it's not favoritism. I can say it. So APGA, kudos to you guys. You did a very good job with your presentation. I used to be like, wow, why didn't I know these guys when I was running for office? Man, I look better. So thank you very much, APGA. And so the APGA strategy was presentation. And trust me, if you didn't even read what APGA had to say and you just looked at it, you'd be like, wow, APGA did quite well every time in the assignments. And I must commend their presentation. That was their key and that was their strategy. Other parties deployed different kinds of strategies. Some didn't even know they were deploying some set out strategies which they used, but they deployed some. So politics is war, and you need to play it like chess. The best thing is to look at politics as a game of chess. So you have to know how pieces move and understand how, when this piece moves, the repercussion of that piece, and when you sacrifice something, what could be taken for a bigger agenda. And you need to understand how that works. Next will be ticket acquisition. Most people say, okay, I'm running for office. They know me in my ward, they know me in my local government, they know me in my state. But nobody thinks about is which party is going to give you a ticket. So most of the time they get flamboyant, PDP, APC, they know me there too. My uncle is this. Oh, you know them, but you don't know the delegates. Hence your problem, ticket acquisition, which is probably one of the most underestimated parts of getting. I'm serious. I'll give you an example. No offense to Professor Kingsley Moghalu. His race in 2023 elections was truncated because he made one critical mistake. Professor Kingsley Moghalu had started campaigning for president when he hadn't won the party ticket. And I'm using this as a realistic example, not because, no offense, I think Professor Kingsley Moghalu is a great guy and he'd have been a great help. But he sacrificed ticket acquisition behind running for president. And at that point, he paid for it because when they moved the party primaries, or if I'm right, Ibadan, yes. When they moved party primaries to Ibadan, he was more than shocked. Why is it not happening in Abuja? And when they got there, he didn't know anything about the delegates. And they agreed that they will pull in resources in the ADC. They'll put a pot of resources and say, okay, all the presidential candidates will put money. So it's not anybody that gave the delegates money to come to your state. So he put his own money in the pot like everybody, and transport was provided. What he didn't know was that two other presidential candidates sat down with dinner for the delegates before the primaries. He was stunned at what happened to him in the primaries. He placed running for president ahead of ticket acquisition. It's when you have the ticket, you can now start to talk on it. This is not to say you can't put groundwork on the ground, but remember what comes first. You haven't met the girl yet, but you've bought ring and you're not sure of the size. It doesn't work that way now. I don't know, Sha. I did the only one, so can't explain it to you. So question your strategy always, and you need to question your strategy half the time. Most of the time, you need to redeploy a new strategy. Like I'll tell you what happened. So when the Million Man March started, I remember during the campaigns in 2022, a lot of people were copying Million Man March. Labour Party was ahead. They were doing it seamlessly. People were so keyed into it. APC and PDP decided to copy, forgetting it is not their forte. They don't rely on that. And they got into a quagmire. It wasn't working. They were embarrassed. And then you know what? They just said, come, let's do what we are doing. Leave Labour Party. And then Labour Party makes a stupid mistake. So let them do what they're doing. And then they come out with a presidential campaign council, of which their campaign council is made up of the usual suspects. Labour Party, not thinking out its strategy fully, decided to follow and come out with the campaign council. And then the Glasgow started. You know, that campaign council, they had someone who was a general and who was overseeing the division that went to the brigade that was sent to Lekki during NSAS and etc. And of course, PDP and APC made mincemeat of that. And if you notice, Labour Party started losing traction. You see, you need to always question your strategy. Because Adeshola is wearing makeup doesn't mean I should wear makeup. Because Charlia, and I'm just trying to make this as simple to everyone as possible. Because Charlia is doing, I recently learned a new word. Because Charlia is doing BBL doesn't mean I should do it too. It might not be my winning strategy. And we need to think about it the way we're supposed to do things. It might not project me to the stardom I wish to be, because I'm behaving like Davido and I'm having French baby mamas and etc. Might not work for me. It might work for him, make him more popular and his song might blow. Do you understand? It worked for Two-Face, might not work for me. So you need to question your strategy always at every point in time as a politician or a political party. What exactly am I trying to achieve? If I copy what everybody's copying, will I achieve the same thing? Or will I achieve it better? Or what I'm doing, do I stick to it and be the king at this and let others run their race? You need to play around that. Also, to becoming a candidate, you also need to understand party internal democracy. Most people decide to join the party the day they decide to run for office. Get people where they sit down for their sins now. People don't date party since they hustle. You won't just come because your papa get house, chop ticket. I don't know. People say it's not fair. It's what in life do you just come in and do you, okay, doctor, do you just wear a lab coat and then go into a hospital with a stethoscope and start putting your stethoscope on people's chests? That's not what happens for you to become a doctor. Paul, I don't see why politics should be any different. You need to understand the entire concept of what exactly is going to be done. You need to understand what needs to be done, who needs to be on your side, who's not on your side, who you can throw away, who you need to work with, who you need to break down and push a relative system into. And at that point, you need to ask yourself, what exactly do you want from the party? Most of the time, people say party is supreme. Party is not supreme. You bend party supremacy to favor you. That's what you do in a party. Now, I know a lot of people won't like this, but be ready to always take a loss. It's one of the criteria of being a politician. It doesn't mean you are bad. It just means maybe time is not right, or it's not yet your time. And this your time is not some elders that are telling you you have to wait 30 years before you run for House of Rep. No, sometimes it might just not be right. Factors might be working against you. Imagine, okay, I'll give an example. Imagine Banky W in 2019 ran with like the modern, no, it was M. I can't remember the name of the party, but it was M. You know, there were 93 political parties in 2019. Right? So Banky W ran in 2019. We had a conversation with Banky, and Banky was like, okay, I know they do minority party again. I was like, man, just take the Labour Party. I said, I'm not doing minority party. That was when he was having issues with his primaries in 2022. And, you know, they rigged him out of his primaries. PP said, no, I'm going to fight this thing. And I said, Banky, I love your strength. We sat down in Abuja. We had another conversation. I said, take the Labour Party. He said, Kune, I'm going to win this thing from PDP. They cannot take my sweat. He won the ticket. But now, the tsunami of Labour Party hits Banky and the APC sitting House of Rep, Abani Kuro. And Banky gets lost. Doesn't mean Banky is a bad candidate. Just time wasn't right. Things didn't fit. At the time, PDP in Etiosa was burnt like ram skin. I know Salah just passed. It was burnt like ram skin. And so you need to be ready to take a loss sometimes. The loss is not because it's you. Loss is because, you know, the variables aren't just aligned. And you need to understand such things. Now, one of the hardest things for Nigerians to do is take a loss. I don't know why. When you lose, there's no loss actually. The truth is that what is considered loss is a lesson. You always win. You want a lesson on what not to do, how not to do it. Now, Banky has grown to understand that he's above the party. He's not, whether minority, he's now focusing on building an individual personality, which can transcend political party lines. And that is where I think he should be. And I wish him good luck. He's a very good friend. I wish him good luck in his future endeavors. So so when I use examples, it's not because I'm trying to shade anybody. No, I'm just trying to practicalize what we're seeing. So we need to understand politics is a variable game. I think I've done that across the entire slide while talking today. So now to candidate parameters. So what are the parameters of being a candidate? First and foremost, you need to provide a robust understanding of governance systems. What do you understand? What exactly is your function? How does it work? How does this move? How is this managed? How does this fit into this? How does that fit into this? And you need to understand, what are the challenges I'll face? What am I going to, okay, I'm going to face this. I'm going to face this party level. Party wants this, but it's not good for the people. How will I maneuver between the party that wants this, which is the executive, and me as a legislative passing a law that will shoot everyone? You need to reignite an interest in political participation, not because people are not interested. People already voted, but the greatest strength of any incoming politician or any incoming candidate is a whole new breed that has never looked at anybody else in politics. You want to know why the Peter Obi euphoria was so high? It brought in a lot of novices into politics. People who have never supported a candidate, who have never paid attention to anything. And do you know what it gave them? The strength of not knowing what's wrong and what's right. Though it could backfire sometimes, but It was a tsunami because whether you look at it, nobody in Nigerian history has attempted to run for president the first time and scored 6 million votes. It's never happened. Our political parties are so diverse that we have 5 parties as governors. We have 8 in the National Assembly, and we have 9 State House of Assemblies. That is brilliant. Governance has no gender. Don't say because I'm a woman I can't do this. Don't say because I'm a guy I can't do this. And I'd like to add gender or age restrictions. Don't say because I'm young I can't do this. There are no restrictions. Yeah, you might face a few more hurdles. You might need to maneuver a little bit. It's a little hard. You will need to unveil the iron curtain behind the campaign to appeal to the electorate. Now, I always say this: a candidate has a manifesto, which is what he tells people. Then an agenda, what he keeps to his heart. And this brings up a very good friend of mine, JRB. JRB was with me in Cohort. We gave him his first ticket to run for Ikeda chairman sometime as far back as 2014. I was national publicity secretary. And by the borrowed survival, have maintained a friendship till today. But now, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. He's a great guy. He loves Lagos. He remains a good friend. But when you start to reveal, in unveiling the iron curtain behind the campaign, when you start to reveal your agenda, which is supposed to be personal, in a bid to succeed with the electorate, you have made a mistake. Even if you wanted to shut down Alpha Beta in Lagos State, Alpha Beta is a company which probably does almost all the contract. You do not come out and say it. It's not that you're not going to do it. Just to align and work within the prism of politics. Politics is a game of tricksters. You don't need to show your cards. And JRV, young boy, pushing a lot of things. His greatest mistake was showing multiple cards. I think after Labour Party won the presidential elections in Lagos, he lost it. Oh, this is recorded. JRV is going to hate me for saying this, but it's the truth. He virtually lost it. And, he became loose-tongued and, he started saying things he was going to do. I'm going to destroy. People that destroy or break down systems that exist do not tell you they're going to break down in campaigns. So when they get into office, everybody's with them, then they start breaking down the system. And they do it strategically. He went as far as saying something about Obas in Lagos, and he got quite a bad invite from a bad reception from the Oba of Lagos, who he eventually went to go and see during campaign. So youthful exuberance in politics should be curbed. It's the reason why most young people don't win elections. So get a backyard of finance. That's true. Anybody that tells you that finance is not necessary. Finance is necessary for elections. You need it. You can't cross it. You can't do without it. We've discussed reigniting interest in political participation. Now there's one part. Insulate your. A lot of people make grave mistakes during campaigns. Bringing your wife to come and talk about politics. I'm not saying the wife cannot be there, should be the soft part. But when you the impatience her, and I hope everybody understands what the impatience are. And she's getting into thing, and the JIV made this mistake. A few other young people, across board, the wife's got into the whole mix and kind of turned it, and it got kind of murky. You don't get people into it, no matter what they've said about, it's not natural. You have a target on your back, candidate. The less people say about themselves or who they are, the more they reveal about who they are. So if you don't answer a particular strife or something thrown at you, you could be like the Obamas. I'd say they pulled this insulation of family best. Obama could have fired a missile and innocent people were hurt in Palestine or in Iraq or in Afghanistan. And then he'd be like, okay, baby, you know what, Michelle, we're going to the NBA games this night. And it's written under the taskbar, but Michelle will wear a lovely dress and then the president just goes, bends and kisses her, and that makes news. And everybody's all talking about that. Michelle Obama doesn't need to comment on the issue that innocent people were killed. And that's the diversion in politics. I think I wrote the other day, the first rule of politics is never let the truth get in the way of a good story. this is it's something deep, and I hope you understand it. But never let the truth get in the way of a good story. It doesn't mean you should lie, but it just means you just alter the goalpost small. And what I'm telling you, say, Kunle is a bad guy. Okay, fine. Head your own estate group and see whether you can tell the truth every 5 seconds. I'll tell you, I'll give you a chance. Try it. Now you don't come and mob you. That's the way it is. And I plan for eventuality of loss. And then this is the final thing, which I love the most. Give them a race to remember. Why would you run for office and nobody even remembers you did? Change the system. Be known for something. Let them remember you. Don't do the average things. I went to go and give rice to buy. I went to go and who will remember you? You're just one of the 100 passing through. Give them a race to remember. Now, if you're going to ask me to put down this race to remember, people have to pay me consultancy fee. It's above class pay grade. No offense. So, now, methodologies of becoming a candidate, or methodologies of operation of becoming a candidate are quite interesting. And these are things that, sorry, I'm trying to move something. First and foremost, you need to create a brand. Who are you? Who is Silas who's running for president? Who is Silas? What's Silas about? What brand is he? Who is he? Is he known to insult his opponents? Is he known to hold back? Is he known to every politician has a brand? Is he this? Is he forward? Is he that? Is he held back with things? Is he forward with issues? Is he the first to greet everybody when a disaster happens? Trust me, that's a brand. Sorry, it's kind of low, but that's a brand in Nigeria. First to greet people when disaster happens. First to do this, first to do that. Next to be know your target electorate. Know the kind. Who are you targeting that's going to vote for you? Additional will now come like this. Additional doesn't wear contact lens. It doesn't put massive makeup. Additional Moyadini. Not put massive makeup. She just has a fine voice. Is Additional going to go to what they call it? What's the name of one of the people's clubs in Lagos? Okay, Quilox. She's going to go to Quilox and go and look for electorate there. Electorate there don't want Additional's kind of brilliant legal mind. That's not what they want. You better know your target electorate. Or Tukumbo, that's your team lead in the AAC, who's part of the electoral college. Tukumbo, that's soft spoken, well targeted and whatever. You go to a Unilag Slay Queens group and go and be talking about the bills he wants to offer. Those will lose election. I go follow that fan. So you need to know your target electorate. Who are the kind of people? Who are your kind of people? Building in that system. Then start to encourage. They will be able to drag these other people that you don't have. Because one or two people might be affiliated to those target groups who now can bring in those groups. But you as a person will not be able to deliver to those groups. Somebody can trigger somebody there that will preach, the head nigger in charge or the head chick in charge. That would eventually, help. Excuse me, that will eventually help, propagate your message or do everything. Now, most people will tell you, go and study what has happened and how people want. Just study history for knowing sake, so you know what to do and what not to do, but navigate the present. If in 2019 there was no beavers and people were snatching a ballot box, do not go and pay people to snatch ballot box in 2023 to not work. There's beavers. So you need to study the history but navigate the present. Differentiate yourself from others. I think that's key to being a brand, but you need to differentiate yourself. You need to say, these are the lines I will not cross. This is what I'll do. This is what I wouldn't do. This is where I will go. This is where I'll not go. Next thing will be to utilize your party structure to the best of your knowledge. Most people will say, my father is Olufale, and I come down and talk to this party chairman who is nothing, who don't have even served my father as a houseboy. All right, now let's see who will sell your message inside Mushin Market. So you need to be able to utilize your structure to the best. Always be accessible, never be too far away from your party structure. You need to also prepare. One of the things you need to prepare most for is attacks on your candidature. What are your weaknesses? And nobody ever asks themselves those questions. So what exactly are your weaknesses? Sit down as a person. What are your weaknesses? Someone like Cynthia will say, okay, Cynthia, I think that's chairman of our Cynthia in class. Cynthia is my sister. I'm not Yabina. So I can't even tell whether Cynthia is in class. Yeah, Cynthia is in class. Adishola, can you unmute Cynthia? Hello?
Okay, yeah. All right.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you
We
unmute
can.
Cynthia?
I've asked that to unmute.
Okay. Hello, Cynthia, are you there? Is it that nobody can hear me, or is Cynthia there?
We can hear you, Edie. Maybe she's not available.
Okay, she's there. Probably dodging what out. Anyway, she's my sister. So as a party chairman, I know that Cynthia will defend her party to the best of her knowledge. I also know that Cynthia, she's done it within the class and within the cohort. And I know Cynthia stands up. She always looks for what was done wrong to try and get better. So I would say if I were party chairman of AAC, I'll continue throwing loopholes so that Cynthia will be spending time defending such things because she likes being seen as, a model, as someone who's a perfectionist. So I'll keep throwing things around so that Cynthia spends so much time trying to cover up stuff while we are busy making alliances with other parties. Cynthia will be cut off the trail. It's who Cynthia is. Cynthia is a personal friend and she's a very good sister. And I know Cynthia, I've actually seen her in that I could say things like that will happen. So Cynthia, I just said it because I wanted to be realistic. It's not that that's the truth about it. So me to prepare for attacks on your candidature. Do you like boys? Do you like girls? Do you like this? Do you like that? How would it be used against you? How would this be done? Do you drink too much? Do you smoke publicly? Do you this? All that will come to play, trust me, when you're running for office. Next thing, you need to be able to use all media to your advantage. Now, you might not have the kind of media maybe other candidates have, some candidates with higher spending power, but you need to adopt and say, okay, since they are this now, okay, I have small boys, these ones can throw out blog statements constantly without throwing things back to back. One of the key things that you cannot deny as a candidate is that you need to be decisive. I'll take you back, guys, back to 2019. Towards the election was February. By December 2018, I had two situations. The first one was we had gone for a cafe rally in Guagualada, and it happened to, I don't know how the team picked it, but it was the same day the incumbent senator was there.
Even when you hear.
Hello. So it was the same day the incumbent senator was there. It turned into a small fracas. The next one, which was popular in Dede, was a clash between multiple candidates that happened to be in Dede at the same time. And my team didn't see this. This was my life at risk twice. I got away because I probably dressed the same way I still dress even as a candidate, wear my Niger jersey, but it wasn't Niger jersey then. It was a t-shirt, black, or I had this party college jackets, and I have the college logo here, 01, some KL, I just like, don't mind me, I like some nonsense the Yoruba part of me. So I got away with it. And I fired my entire campaign team first week of January. This is because it seems the opposition knew where I was going to be always, and there was always fracas, and my life was being threatened. Not many people will make that decision. I left my party also. I left Cohort party to run in Alliance for New Nigeria when Cohort decided to make an alliance with PDP. It was known as I can't remember, like 21 political parties came together with the PDP. And PDP tricked them and said, they will allow their presidential candidates, and whoever emerges as the consensus presidential candidates all will support. And I sat down, as publicity secretary then, though I had stepped down as national publicity secretary because I was running for office, but I still had a seat on the National Executive Council. I sat down and this decision was not taken at the National Executive Council. Why should my party be part of this? Number one, what do you guys think? And I remember the presidential candidate in my party saying, Kunle, all of us can, all the presidential candidates will come and then we'll vote for ourselves within ourselves and we can win. And if we win, Atiku will support us. And I told him, I remember what I said to him. I don't want to call his name. What I said, because he worked on Peter Obi's campaign. I was laughing. And what I said to him was, next time you have that kind of dream, go and stand at Atiku's campaign office in Abuja, go and look at it, because Lagos guy now. Go and look at it and ask yourself if that will ever happen. And I left the party, no party. Well, I was happy I was adopted by Alliance for New Nigeria. And I became a senatorial candidate. Well, it went on. PDP tricked everybody in the game. You know how that story ends. But you need to be decisive. If I was forming party supremacy and whatever, I would have thrown away the campaign. That would probably have given birth to the electoral college and stuff. Just imagine what I would have thrown away. So you need to be decisive. Prepare for campaign moves. As you are hearing what this party is doing, let me use within the cohort now. As you are hearing what AAC is doing, you are hearing what PDP is doing. As you are hearing what PDP is doing, you are hearing what APGA is doing. As you are hearing what APGA is doing, you are hearing what this thing. That's the way politics rules, and that's the way it always will. So in conclusion, I don't know, my classes always seem short. What happens is that I don't like talking on. I think so. So specifically, you must be able to solve successive problems in the achievement, 4 successive problems in the achievement of a successful political career. First and foremost, he or she must join a political organization and become known. You want to develop a political style that will earn respect and leadership in his or her party. He or she that didn't find out what members of the political organization appear to want from the political process and the extent you can appear to be instrumental to their desires. Secondly, he or she must eventually exhibit an interest in becoming the party's candidate in an upcoming election. He or she must fraternize with leaders and attempt to get their backing. He or she must enter a primary election and win the support of the party's voters. Thirdly, he or she must win the primary. He or she must go before the voters in the general election. He or she will have to make important decisions on campaign strategy, including issues, advertising, appearances, and funding. He or she will face a problem in voter analysis, choosing the targets, allocating resources, and timing them for maximum impact. Fourthly, if he or she is elected, he or she must do the kind of job in office that will get him or her re-elected. This will be a function of the organization he or she builds, the positions he or she takes, and the rhetorics he or she uses. Thank you, everyone. And thank you to Cohort. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. That was actually a very short class. Okay. Do we have questions, comments, inputs on the candidates that Mr. Kunle has walked us through? I think this particular class is really, really insightful, going by the elections that the various parties have had to conduct. I hope that a lot of people have actually taken notes and corrected some notions they had prior to today, even prior to the conduct of those of their members participating in those elections. Do we have questions, please? Okay. None for now. Let me see if I have hands raised. Okay, 2 hands raised. Moses, Silas, and Miriah. Let me take Moses first.
Okay, thank you so much, Edie. This was, I think, they saved the best for the last, I must say. Thank you so much, because this is like just crowning it all on all the experiences we have had. My question is this: Can you suggest some strategies for candidates that contest election and lost? How do they manage their personal brand before the next election cycle? That's my question. I don't know if it's understood.
Okay, a great question. How do they manage their personal branding up until the next elections? Edie, do you want us to take all the questions at once, or do you want to respond to this? Hello? Edie? I don't know. Edie,
Sorry, I was talking and I said, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Now
Hello?
we can. We can. We can hear you now.
Ask me the question. Or was it Silas that asked me the question?
Moses.
You're a very wicked person for asking that question. It is okay. So if I'm going to be honest, I'm going to reveal the part of politics nobody goes through. Now, I don't want to agree because I don't agree to it. I'm not one that chooses to fall. But I'll tell you that that post-election depression exists. All that. But it does. And it destroys a lot of candidates within their first 1 year after running for office. It destroys quite a lot of candidates. So what some do is jump. Those that have been successful in managing a life and still having a political career are those that didn't stop and just jumped back. After election day, they were already engaging, finding out what's going on. They didn't look at anything and they jumped back and continued the system. Those who decided to say this is going to kill me, I'll be honest with you. If I tell you the effect of running for office for people under 40 in 2019, the highest percentage, we looked at it recently with a few friends, the highest advantage, the highest percentage of anything that happened to them was them losing their marriages, because they were all in young marriages and they were left for 3-4 years of campaign. Next thing will be losing entire finances. You forget how to do business again. You lose that. So marriages, finances go out the door. And if those two go out the door, you become mentally unstable. And that also has become a massive problem. So we were taking a random study of all of us that ran in 2019 and measuring what happened. Even the trajectory of those that remained in politics, the loss affected their ability to talk publicly, to begin to engage, or to be seen as losers, and they shielded back into a shell. I would say I was lucky, fully lucky. I don't know how, but I was very lucky. The Electoral College saved me, and I'll just end that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Silas, you're the next person.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Indeed, thank you for the insightful lecture. And sorry, sir, I wasn't even to ask that first question. I'm not that wicked, sir. My question is actually about our. Sorry, my question is about an incident that happened in this our last election, sir. We got the report of the AAC showing us a candidate, and when campaign started, we saw a different candidate, and the college didn't seem to have objections to that. Meanwhile, what we saw, what you defined in your introduction is that a candidate is someone aspiring for an elected position who has won the ticket of a political party or has an automatic mandate. And we saw a winner that was later on not the candidate that ran for the election with the AAC in this last election we had in the college. So I wanted to know, is there something we missed or what happened there, sir? Because the college didn't seem to have an issue with that. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to make clear. If it's preceding campaigns, shortly before campaigns, even according to the electoral, candidates, parties have the power to substitute their candidates as long as campaigns have not started. The AAC puts adequate notice out that their candidate will make it for some due reasons, which they explain to the college. And since it was before campaigns, I did not have a problem with it. If you notice, there was the party that tried an alliance. I can't remember which two tried an alliance when campaign dates were already released. We had to hold back on that because once campaign dates are released, parties cannot align. So it was a case of we followed the Electoral Act to the latter. So that's what went on with that particular issue.
Okay, because we expected that if that happened, the other parties would have been notified. We didn't get the notice. We just saw campaign start. That's why. So
why we didn't notify you guys was because it is the party on the ballot, not the person. That was why we didn't notify you guys.
Understood, sir.
Okay, great. I think that has answered the questions on a couple of people's minds. All right, move on to the next person. Mariah, I've asked you to unmute yourself.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ED. The name is Miria, and it's okay. Most people don't get it.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. Miria, I pronounced it correctly, and I always
yes, you do, ED. You always pronounce it correctly, and that's nice. My question is kind of a follow-up to what Moses asked, but on the other hand, my question is, how do you prepare for losses? So he asked how to handle it after. I'm asking, how do you prepare for losses before results are, or elections happen and results are published and all that?
Okay, Miria, you guys credit me too much for knowing a lot of things. So we're going to walk through this together. Is that okay? I'm not as smart as you think I am. So we're going to walk through it. Have you noticed that I don't like people calling me sir?
Yes, ED, but then it's kind of
wait. Just hold. We are getting to a point. You've acknowledged, yes, I don't like people calling me sir. Do you want to know why? So while I was running for office, most of the time people used to call me distinguished. I don't want my head to be blown. I'm not a senator. I'm not distinguished. Do you understand? That was my first line of managing. Now you're seeing it, huh? Of managing things. So I didn't want to place myself in a happy place and then one pin will come and burst the bubble. Secondly, I didn't live my life any differently. Yes, I had a few extra PAs and I moved around a bit, but I moved around simply. There were times even as senator, I was running for Senate and projected among the top 5. I was moving around. I'll enter, or in Abuja, what they call it, Salong. I'll enter along from Karo to Kubwa. And I'll take from Kubwa to Gwags. Then Gwags back to Area 1. Just so that I could hear what people were thinking and then understand. I enter with my peers. Nobody will know it was me. I used to walk around my posters. And I used to tell people that I always wanted to live life. I remember there was a time I went to, so behind our campaign office, so behind the campaign office was H Medics. And there were posters all over of me at H Medics. And I walked to this and I think it's part of my book. And somebody said, why you are running for Senate? Why are you going to the pharmacy to buy drugs? And I was like, why shouldn't I? And I remember from the campaign office in Wuse to Bikers Club in Zone 4, I loved hanging out because it was kind of where a lot of us running for office then. So there wasn't too much magu. I could be normal there. No offense. So, hey, I just confessed. Anyway, that's another story. So I used to walk. It was a short walk. You just pass through the back of Wuse through one shortcut. And you're there. I used to be so simple. And it was because I was trying to manage. So I was indirectly now, looking back, I think I was preparing for my losses. Not like I was planning to lose. But I never allowed it get to me. I didn't allow the distinguished, everybody stand up, distinguished, I was only distinguished. I tell them, leave that thing. You're only distinguished in Abuja was Phillips Aduda. And that's the person I'm running against. And I remember Phillips Aduda used to call me baby senator. Whenever I met, this call me baby senator. And I used to tell him, I'm not yet a senator, sir. And we used to joke about it. Right, don't worry. I mistakenly, I had to get back at him when he lost his election. I think I sent him a poster of the person that won. I died to flip publicly. I don't know the guy, not really. But really across board, you shouldn't ever get ahead of yourself. Never ever get ahead of yourself. I think it's something that Africans find it hard to do. Never get ahead of yourself. Maureen and Co will tell you officially, anybody that calls me sir in the electoral college is fined 1,000 naira. But they're here. This side is here, they know. You can't call me sir in the electoral college. It's not hidden now. Adeshola knows. Everybody knows. They know now. If I want to make money, please call me sir. Let me make money at it. Now I'm even looking for them to call me sir again. That was when they coined the name ED and everybody calls me ED. And I just leave it at that. So to manage this expectation, how do you prepare for this loss? I think you should never get caught into the euphoria. Like, I'll give you an example for guys and for girls. I'll tell you, the moment you're a girl and you're projected among the top 4 that can win, if you're not married, the number of people that want to marry you. I'm not talking of if you're even married, toasters will join you. I'm being honest, let's be realistic. Politics is a mad place. So imagine if you're a guy, somebody that had 500 Instagram followers, all of a sudden you see 5,000 Instagram followers with plenty inbox. If you don't control yourself, so you need to be able to manage these things and not think they don't like you. You come into a conversation and everybody say it's so smart. Come on, they don't like you. It's the potential that you could enter an office. Power is the most attractive thing. It's not money. Anybody that tells you money is attractive hasn't met some. Anyway, let me not go there. But money is not what's attractive. It's power and the what they call it, the possibility of access to it. That's the most attractive human magnet. So it's you have to be able to manage those things. If you can't manage that, then trust me, you'll have a serious problem. So I think those are the kind of things. And then when maybe a small blog invites you, feel you're too big. Maureen and Co will tell you, Twitter space that has 6 people, ED will attend. Twitter space that has 1,000 people, ED will attend. Radio station that nobody knows, ED will attend. Channels, ED will attend. I've learned to divorce myself from class, position, and power.
Very, very
I'm a bully. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Edie.
Okay.
Who do we have? Let's take Amira. Let's take Amira first.
Okay, Amira first. Amira, go ahead.
Good evening, Edie. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Edie, for a great session. Okay, so before this class, I had no intention of asking this question because I thought to myself, one of the good qualities of being a leader is knowing how to take a loss and moving forward from it. But I honestly want to give my team members closure because we have a particular doubt about the last election. Considering the college is following the Electoral Act to book, in the last election, people that casted their votes, like literally put their votes in the ballot, went ahead to remove it from the ballot and cast it for another party. So I just wanted to hear your take on it. And we completely accept the decision of the college. We just want some closure and clarification. Yes,
I
please.
think this is good feedback. First and foremost, I don't think it's possible within Telegram group. You can't vote more than once. So everybody's allowed to vote once. So you can't recant your vote. I don't think it's possible. And if it is possible,
It
then
happened.
that means we'll have to, I would have to form Mahmoud, and then we'll have to find a way around that. No offense to the INEC chairman. I'd have to form Mahmoud and say it's one of our beavers because we didn't think that was possible. Or I didn't think. Let me not put everybody. I'll take responsibility for that. So I didn't think that votes could be recanted. And if it's a situation that votes could be recanted, then everybody's allowed. And then it went across board. It didn't only affect your party. So still plays that we didn't know. But I will look into that particular system of voting and ensure that next time this doesn't happen. But for me, I didn't know that that occurred. And let me use the best answer since my guys used it. There were glitches, and those glitches. Sorry, no offense. I sound so much like Mahmoud right now. But being honest, we didn't know that occurred.
Okay, that has given us.
I'm sure
that's been.
We'll work with you in the future.
Okay, okay, Edie. Sorry. So that has given us closure. Yes, that has given us
where's my one key? Stop that story.
And
Amira, where's my Amira? Wait, where's my one?
Your what?
My one key. I heard this, sir.
Oh, I quickly took it back, so it doesn't count.
You can't take it back.
I quickly took it back. It doesn't count. Yes. But thank you. That has given my party closure, and we can go and celebrate in peace. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Amira. And then the last question by Joshua.
All right. Good evening, all. Good evening, ED. My question, I hope I'm audible enough.
You're audible, can hear you.
Okay, thank you. My question is basically about, I don't know if there is a provision for it in the Constitution, because my question is based on a true live interview. On a live interview I watched some weeks back on Channels Television, where one of the current House of Reps member, Elder Leke Abejide, representing Yagba Federal Kogi State, came on. He was being interviewed by Terry Ikume, and Terry asked him that he saw that Elder Leke, he's of the ADC anyway, but he saw him openly working for the current president, that's Asiwaju Tinubu. Even when his party, the ADC, has a presidential candidate, that couldn't that be termed as anti-party practice? But that one was saying, that one was saying there is nothing like anti-party in what he did and all that. So I really don't understand. Is it that even constitutionally, there is a provision in the Electoral Act, rather, there's a provision for that you could do such a thing and get away with it? Or should it be like...
Let me first explain. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Joshua, there's nothing like anti-party in the Electoral Act. The people that have anti-party are inside party. So it's individual parties that have issues against anti-party, parties that have issues against anti-party activities. The Electoral Act has nothing to do with parties that are totally independent. I've said this multiply, are independent of how they function. So there's no anti-party in any Electoral Act. There's nothing like anti-party. And there's something you critically need to follow. The ADC presidential candidate was thrown out by the ADC. In the final line, the ADC didn't go. So the ADC said it was throwing his weight. Some said they were throwing their weight behind this one. Some said they were throwing their weight behind this one. Obina, who ran in Abia, threw his weight behind Labour Party. ADC, the one in Kogi, went behind Tinubu. I know ADC in Lagos went behind Atiku. They had no presidential candidate. And anti-party is anti-party is a party team. It's not an electoral act thing. There's nothing like, what was the electoral act business? Vote properly or campaign properly. It's not their business who you are campaigning for, who you are in, or who you are with. That's them infringing on the tenets of democracy. Hello, Joshua, are you there? Hello, Joshua.
Maybe he's dropped off.
He's dropped off. So could we have Liam Joshua before as last question? Thank you. Liam Joshua, are you there?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Joshua. How are you?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to ask, considering your experience in politics, I want to know what you will give as the qualities that a young person, someone in his 20s, with the intention of going into politics, what would you say he should possess? And then if you are to look back at your years of experience and in politics, what would you have done differently? Thank you.
Okay. If I'm to give advice to a 20-year-old, I'll tell them the only quality they should have is the ability to learn and relearn. That's what matters. Any other quality can be picked on the road. You would need it, but you need to be able to learn and unlearn. I mean, that's the foremost. And if I look back into time, in my small time in politics, which hasn't been so long, what could I have done differently? I think I would have, you know what? I'm going to be truthful. I wouldn't have done anything differently. Nothing. I wouldn't even change a stone. Same mistakes, the same everything, because it led me exactly to this point, and I love the point I'm at. So I wouldn't have done anything differently. This is not to think that I don't think I wouldn't make potential mistakes. This is not the arrogance that I think I'm better than anybody else. This is the value I have placed on who I have become. So I wouldn't have done anything differently. Thank you, sir.
Okay, a great answer. Any other questions? We don't have any hands raised anymore. Any questions in the chat box? I don't see any. Okay.
If there is none, Adeshola, you have to allow the mommy of the class address them. So I'll hand over to the mommy of the class.
Yes, please.
Chancellor Lisa.
HOP. Over to you, ma.
No, which HOP? Do not disrespect this. Lisa is a DED. Lisa has moved to DED. Deputy Executive Director. Hey, it's the boss. We're calling Lisa with respect.
Well done, no, well done. Shala, well done. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ED. Good evening, Cohort XI. Today is your last class. I know the outcomes of the election. Some people are happy, some are not happy, but well, it's part of the learning curve. The challenge with the last one, that's, I think a lot of persons were saying that some people casted votes. The feature has always been like that. So if we had to do it again, that means we'll have to cancel all the elections, from the AMAC, which is not feasible. So just take it as a learning curve, and we'll look into it next time to see what can be done about that feature. I think there should be a way where you could be allowed to just cast and not retract, but we'll look into that. But all the parties did well, and well, each party has won one thing or the other. So I think that's congratulations to all the parties that have been left standing. Okay, I think there were 4, but ADC has not won any. But congratulations to everyone. You brought your best foot forward, you brought your A game. And at the end of the day, it's the learning that really matters. After tomorrow, all of you will be merged into one group, all the pseudo parties will be dissolved. So at the end of the day, you're all one team. The parties were just created for the purpose of learning and to simulate, the real life way of voting, of elections, of campaigns. So please don't miss the point. Yes, it's competitive, you want to win and everything, but don't miss the learning point. You guys are one team. You're one team. Don't forget that. So please, let there be no bad blood. Let there be no, hard feelings. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
Wait.
I needed to put that out.
Didi, sorry.
Hmm.
Didi, sorry, but wait, this cohort, I need to tell you guys something. Is this small election people are having bad blood? If I put you guys in a realistic situation, you guys will kill each other. No, but
in fact,
you see, the basis of teaching you guys this is that in the end, we must always remember Nigeria must win, regardless of what political party. That's the basis. That's the simple line the Electoral College is trying to teach you. Whether you are in PDP, you are in ADC, you are in whatever, Labour, say it was Labour Party that those people were telling us they were going to end the Electoral College.
Yeah, so
so whether Labour Party, whatever, the Nigeria first. Nigeria must win. It's not negotiable. So you're going back to one cohort, and your cohort must be able to show itself that it's better than the 12th, it's better than the 10th in cohesion, in thought processes, in things that you do later. And maybe, I don't know what you decide to do after class. I don't know what you guys decide to do. That will be left to you guys. But that will be totally up to you. But I will tell you, if you're going to enter the game of politics, since this is the last time I'm teaching you, this will be the last thing. After tomorrow, we're all mates and no more extra. So if there's anything you're going to learn to stomach in politics, you need a hard heart to move on. It is one of the requisites. Amira, you wanted to say something?
Yes, it's more of a suggestion. So, from interacting with people. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, it's more of a suggestion. In interacting with people in my party, I realized that there are really great people in these cohorts, people doing good things in different spaces, NGO, political space. So I'm suggesting if we could have like a virtual networking session where, if everybody's okay with it, of course, where we would say what we are doing right now and what we hope to achieve, so that we can know what everybody.
Emia,
Yeah.
that will be up to your cohort. Your cohort has a president, it has a governor, it has a senator, it has party chairman. It will be up to you guys. Now, that is the job the Electoral College expects you to take on yourself. We have done our own baby process. We've done our work. This now is left to you. It's up to your team to do that. The 10th cohort has a quite strong how would I put it, sets. I think the 8th cohort and the 9th too are quite strong. It's totally up to you how you choose to run your system and how you choose to support each other. We would always be there to lend sorry, okay, you guys don't have a senator, yeah. Too many cohorts. Now I'm confused. 12. Anyway, sorry, 11. So it will be up to you to dictate how your cohort goes, how you choose to interface. That's college leaves that. We've created the avenue. Let's put it like this. Oh, sorry, I'm almost speaking Hausa. So giving you the field, let the horses run.
Okay.
We've tried now, haven't we?
Yes, you have.
And we will be thinking of we too will be thinking of the 12th cohort now, cohort XII. So that's where we're going. That's where Lisa and Co. I'm sure after a week of this, we're back to planning for Cohort 12. Lisa,
Yeah.
why are you laughing?
No. I completely
I
agree.
almost spoke outside. I retracted it. Algeria, I
I heard
retracted
you. I heard
So
you.
we'll be looking at the 12th cohort. Thank you, everyone. I know that some people will feel bad. Hey, attendance, this, that. I'll tell you the truth. Hold Lisa had nothing to do with it. Peace out. It did. Hold Lisa had
After
nothing to do
tomorrow,
with
after
it.
the graduation, please, everyone should delete my number. Thank you. I don't want anyone in my inbox. Thank you.
No,
Okay,
we're just joking.
Lisa, I'm
When I
sure
said
that's a
hold
joke.
Lisa,
that's a joke, right?
that's
Yeah,
a joke.
it should be a joke.
No. Nobody can hold
Graduation
me.
evening, I barely
It
don't
is.
sleep. My inbox is something else, but no problem. It's the work we
Well,
do.
It's always.
that's the work that we have agreed to take on.
Yeah.
Hello, Edie.
That's
With permission to just say one or two words. Great outing
no.
to
Go
the
ahead.
XI team.
Go ahead now.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. It's been a ride. It's been an experience. And as Edie has rightly said, it's just a learning and a lesson for us to build upon as a platform. Amira is asking, how do we galvanize the courts to getting to know who they are, how they can move on together? It's left to you, as Edie has also rightly said. You guys are one. You are a court. You can come together at any time, and make things happen. And that's what we are looking forward to. Nigeria should be, the focal point where we are saying it is what should be the driving force, and that should be the love for the country, on whatsoever you want to, write upon and make happen. Let that be your driving force. That the benefit and the person that should benefit from it is Nigeria as a nation, and the Nigerians as the people. So, wishing you guys all the best. And all the best to those that will be graduating tomorrow. So thank you for the opportunity. Cheers.
Thank you, Senator Olatokunbo. Okay,
Thank you, Tokes.
I forget. We're supposed to present the certificate of return to PDP, to the new president-elect. Is he here? Benjamin, okay. All right. So just give me a minute to share my screen.
President-elect is not in class.
No, he is.
He's here.
Okay, I said.
Okay, so on behalf of the Independent Electoral College Nigeria, this is the certificate of return to the office of the president presented to Benjamin Aren of the People's Democratic Party to the office of the president of the Cohort XI, dated 7th July of 2023, and signed by the ANEC chairman, Mr. Kunle Lawal. So congratulations, President Ben, and congratulations, PDP. Well done, everyone. And we'll give you just some minutes to make a statement. I've asked you to unmute.
All right, thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you, the Executive Director of Electoral College Nigeria. And
we don't want president that does not show face.
All right, thank you so much to the Executive Director of Electoral College Nigeria and the management staff of Electoral College Nigeria. It's been a pleasure, in this cohort. We've met a lot of talent here, and we'll groom the rest that we have been able to harness. Our government will start, our governance proper will start immediately after now. And I believe that with your cooperation moving forward, this cohort will be outstanding. I look forward to working with all of you, and I hope to lead this nation together with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benjamin. You're not moving for subsidy.
He'll give palliatives, don't worry.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Okay, so tomorrow is graduation, everyone. Yay! Congratulations. We're going to have an online party. So it's
Yeah,
by
you
5.
get to listen to ED's. You get to listen to ED's playlist.
That's true. Edie, what year are you going to tomorrow?
Are you trying to
Is it
call
old
me
school?
old?
Is it new school?
If you want,
Is it
call
hip
me. If
hop?
you want to call me, Lisa, if you want to call me old directly. Don't use corner. Don't be using the corners. Call me old directly.
No, you can't be
It
old
will
now.
surely come with the
You're
60s, yeah?
always young at heart, even if you're old physically. I didn't say you're old. Yeah, I'm just saying even if.
Hey, say even if I'm old physically, okay, I'll pretend.
The
I
keyword
wasn't
is
sub.
even if. That's the
The
keyword.
Gen Z generation are speaking. So
I
No,
don't
you guys,
understand. Who
anyway,
is
I
Gen
think
Z?
you now. So I think on behalf
Please,
of
I'm not Gen Z. Oh.
the yeah, what?
I didn't say you
So
are. I only
anyway,
said the Gen Zs are speaking. You was
so anyway, you guys, it's a pleasure for the college. I would say we're very proud. Um, all of you will not graduate. That I'll tell you. Those that put in effort will get a certificate. I hope this cohort will be able to do great things. I hope this cohort will be able to achieve what the cohort was meant to do, what we envisioned you were meant to do. Go on, set up your own cohort Twitter handle, build traction for democratic engagement. You can always invite ED or get somebody you want ED to invite. I'm always there to help. The college is there to help. Your mommy of the cohort, Lisa, has been exceptional. I can tell you, the college will not exist without Lisa. Not without Lisa and Maureen only, but Lisa and Maureen are integral parts. The voice of Adeshola, which of course is great. Talia, who just joined us from Night Court, is already an impeccable member of the Electoral College. Everybody, we wouldn't have done this without you. And, for other people, we look forward to your graduation. To the team, 12 is already smelling. Are you ready? Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, so I think we can draw the class to a close. I'll definitely miss this cohort. There are a lot of interesting persons here. A lot of persons have been disturbing me, always bringing up, always trying to bring up issues whenever there are elections. But it's been fun, really. I've had a great time with you all, and I've loved the zeal, the passion, the dedication and commitment, and you guys have done well. Well done, Cohort XI. And you guys are actually the first people that were using XI for. The others, we just call them 9th cohort, 10th cohort. So yeah, your cohort is unique. So congratulations. Tomorrow is your graduation. You are entitled to bring a +1. So you can invite a friend, you can invite a family member to join the Zoom meeting. And
before you
okay.
before you bring the +1, are you sure your name is on it?
Yes, that's another issue. And unfortunately, we won't reveal the graduating list until during the ceremony. So you have to come with your breath. You hold your breath. But anyway, if you've done well, you should know. If you've been constant in class, if you've been Silas, you want to go to court? Okay, now no problem. If you've been constant in class and you've been participating in your group, then you have nothing to fear. But for those that may not graduate and you want to go to court, like Mr. Silas here, please make sure you write your petition, like 10 pages. That would be the only way we're going to attend to your petition. If it's up to 10 pages, then we'll look into it and see and consider if it's true that you should actually be allowed to graduate. So please, I'm saying it out now so that nobody will enter my inbox. I'm saying it out. Please make sure your petition of 10 pages is ready before you meet me, that your name is not on the graduating list. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening.
Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. I'm sure would like to close the day with Adeshola's voice. Adeshola's voice has this calming nature. Adeshola can even convince anybody to say, you didn't win Champions League. They just agree and not play. So Adeshola, thank you. Would like to close.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Please come with, your dancing shoes. Let's graduate together and have a beautiful end of, the cohort, and, end it with the bang. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Lovely nightingale.
Good night, guys.